Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome. For those of you who do not know me, I am the plant-based queen. I am your anti-diet weight loss coach. I know the irony, helping women look and feel amazing in their bodies with nutrition, habits, lifestyle change. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the trainings here. Today, I really want to break down the most common question that I get is, can I lose weight on a vegan diet? And I'm going to tell you exactly how people do put weight on as a vegan or plant-based eater so that you can avoid the most common mistakes and be the ones who lose it, right? You can gain bucket tons of energy, feel and look incredible. The beauty of adopting a plant-based or vegan diet is that not only when it's done right, it can actually help you lose weight, but it can also help do things like clear up your skin and acne, reduce inflammation, puffiness, reverse chronic illness and disease, help with issues such as PCOS and infertility. So the benefits are truly, truly endless if and only if you do it right. So, first and foremost, I want to clear up something before I get a bombardment of hate in the comments, right? So, while the term vegan is an ethical standpoint and covers far more than just the things that you put in your mouth, for the sake of this video and those who I'm specifically talking to, those who are curious, when I say vegan or plant-based, I'm just specifically referring to the choice of foods and beverages that you consume that do not contain any animal products or any animal byproducts. Okay, so just so we're clear, I am very much aware what vegan means, but for the point of this video, we don't need anyone barking up the wrong street, okay? So don't be in my comments saying, veganism is modern food. I know that, but we are using the word interchangeably. Got it? So if you're hanging around online, you've probably heard both sides of the story, especially if you're new here, if you're new to veganism, if you're new to plant-based way of eating, and you want to figure out if you can lose weight doing it. You've probably heard two sides to the coin, right? You've got the one group of people saying, I went vegan and the weight just fell off me and I felt amazing and my skin's glowing and I'm eating more food than ever. But then you've also got the other group who say, I tried vegan and I actually gained weight. I was bloated. My stomach, I had cramps. I had really bad gas. I was always farting and I was going to the toilet a lot and I felt awful and I gave up because it just didn't work for me. So if you've heard of both of those, you're probably wondering like, what is true? What is going to work for me? First and foremost, I cannot completely say that one thing will 100% work for you. Okay. While I will always and always argue that a whole food plant-based diet is the optimum diet for almost every person on this planet when it's done right and according to your body. That's usually what I say, right? But I also cannot categorically say that 1,000% this is exactly what you need to be doing, okay? Because we all have individual differences. We have experiences and so on and so forth. So if you're wondering which one's true, that's exactly what I'm going to dive into today. And I promise you by the end of this live training, you're going to walk away with a really clear understanding of what weight loss actually, like how it works. No Ozempic, no shakes, no lies, no smoke and mirrors, guys. You're going to learn the truth about veganism and weight, why it works for some and why it backfires for some others. The three biggest mistakes I see women make when they try and go vegan and lose weight. And bear in mind, I've coached hundreds of women on losing weight with a plant-based diet. And three strategies you can start applying immediately to get actual results that last, right? That's exactly that's my ethos. That's my motto. I want you to lose weight, feel amazing, look amazing, but keep that weight off, okay? 94% of women lose weight and regain their weight within 7 years and more, right? I want you to be in the 6% with me, with my girls, with my clients, with my community that keep the weight off. So this is not going to be just another general chit chat about eating some lettuce leaves. This is about science. It's about strategy. It's about sustainability. that you can actually apply if you get your pens and pencils out, sharpen them up now because I'm going to teach you. And if you're wondering what the hell is wrong with her voice, I am still getting over some sort of chest and throat infection. So don't mind me. If you're ready to start, I want you to start in the comments, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, just drop it in there now. Okay. So I had a client who came to me convinced that veganism didn't work for her weight loss, but she wanted to be vegan for ethical reasons. So she said, Bianca, I've been vegan for 10 years. I cut out all the meat, the dairy, the eggs, of course, and I gained weight. I didn't lose it like everyone told me to that I would. I've been trying to lose weight and I've been starving myself. I've been hungry all the time. I've been constantly snacking and eating like eating vegan but not losing weight. And I kind of considered that veganism just won't work for my body, which is a huge clash with my morals and principles. I'm really sorry. My voice. So here's what's actually going on, right? In that example, her meals were she had like breakfast and she was having like a vegan croissant with coffee. For lunch, she was having pasta and vegan chicken and cheese, right? She was having vegan burger and chips and salad and things like trail mix and dark chocolate, yogurts, all vegan, kind of like a normal diet realistically. But was it supporting her weight loss goals? No. It was processed, it was calorie dense, it was low in fiber. She wasn't getting the balance of nutrients that her body was crying out for. So therefore, she had all of the cravings in the world. She was eating the high calorie dense foods and not enough of the low calorie dense foods. And if you're like, what on earth are you talking about? What's calorie dense? What's nutrient dense? And blah, blah, blah. I will explain. But first, veganism is not automatically a golden ticket to weight loss. It's a tool. How you approach it determines whether you succeed or whether you stay stuck. I'm going to quickly give you a little information lesson here, okay? Veganism is that ethical standpoint that we do not touch anything that has come from an animal or is an animal product if the animal was harmed, okay? So no farming, no eggs, no fish, no leather, no face products, nothing. Plant-based is nothing from an animal, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not processed. It can include processed foods, but it's not come from an animal. And then you've got whole food, plant-based. So whole food is things that haven't been touched. They're your whole versions. They're not refined, they're not processed. And then you've got whole food plant-based, which is all of those unrefined, unprocessed foods, but just sticking to non-animal products. Okay. So we've kind of got levels. So when I talk about vegan and plant-based, again, another another pre-warning here. When I talk about vegan and plant-based today, I'm actually talking about whole food plant-based, right? My clients and I, we focus on whole food plant-based. So when you're vegan, it's not that like that you get this golden ticket to health because vegan can still mean vegan and plant-based. It's the same thing when you're focusing just on the dietary things. I have to be so freaking careful with what I say because there are so many people on the internet that get so pissy, so annoyed that I use the word vegan. Look, guys, not everyone knows the terms, okay? I'm trying to teach everyone, right? I'm trying to be nice, trying to be good. So, when it comes to diet, we want to be as on more towards the whole food side because veganism can mean that you're eating a load of junk, right? It's like it's like swapping your car for a bike. Sounds like a great and healthy choice, but if the tires are flat, if you're not moving anywhere, that's what happens when you go vegan the wrong way, right? You've got the label, but you're missing the actual momentum, the juice, the fuel. And I can tell you now that this same client that I was talking about, she's almost 50 pounds down. She hasn't used her asthma inhaler for months. She's able to run up and down stairs. She's snacking less. She's meal prepping foods. She's choosing healthier options naturally on a day-to-day basis. It's not even an effort to choose healthier things. So that's the power of the right nutrition, the right habits, and the right lifestyle change. So before we go any deeper into veganism specifically, I want to ground us in the basics of weight loss. Because if you don't understand the basics, you'll keep chasing diets, you're going to keep chasing labels and this is healthy and this isn't healthy. Maybe try and get as much exercise as you can or hit as many Pilates classes as you can. Okay. I'm going to tell you, no amount of Pilates classes, no amount of HIIT classes, no amount of spin classes is actually going to keep you slim, help you lose weight if you do not understand the basics of weight loss, okay? At its core, no matter who the hell you are, even if you think that you're this unicorn client that can't be helped, if you think that you're the only one on the planet with hormonal issues, or you're going through menopause, or you're too old, or you've lived the same way your whole life. I don't care what your experience is. At its core, you need to understand what weight loss is, and that's about energy balance, right? You lose weight when you consume less calories than your body uses, okay? That is called a calorie deficit. So you eat less calories than you lose because your body, did I say that right? Yes, because your body will then tap into these stored calories, these stored energy from your body. It will convert fat into energy and use that to fuel your day in terms of like energy wise. I don't know why, but my eye is just starting to water randomly for no apparent reason. If I look like I'm crying, which I'm about to cry for no apparent reason, you can tell I'm just getting over a cold, right? So, when you are consuming less than what you're actually using, oh my God, what is going on? Your body will tap into its storage, right? Which is the fat cells in your body and use that. And that's how we lose body fat. Why is my eye crying? But there is some nuance to it, right? You are not a robot. You're a human. You have hunger hormones. You have emotions. You have habits. You have cravings. You have social pressures. You know, a robot's not going to be tempted by Starbucks down the high street, but you will be. And that's why saying just eat less and move your body more is constantly, continuously failing women day after day after day. And this is where the quality of food will come in. So not all calories are necessarily created equal. Like you're not going to get the same from 500 calories of chips versus 500 calories of beans, rice, and vegetables, right? If you eat 500 calories of chips, you're going to be hungry again in 30 minutes. If you eat 500 calories of beans, rice, and vegetables, you'll be full for hours. That's going to give you a steady energy, which a steady energy means less to no cravings. It means no crash, right? And how are they going to help with weight loss? Well, if I've not got cravings and I've got a steady balance of energy and I'm not crashing, I am not picking up more food faster and I'm not picking up high calorie foods faster. Why does this work? Well, because plants plant foods are high in fiber, high in water, high in nutrients, but they're naturally lower in their calorie density. So the amount of calories per volume of food. So you get more food, more volume, more satisfaction, more joy, more satiation by eating the whole foods when you're consuming less calories than you're burning. So when you're in a calorie deficit, if you're eating whole food plant-based, you can feel satisfied. You can feel like you've had enough food. You can feel full and lose weight. That's so much easier than being in a diet where I told you I was anti-diet, right? Where being in a diet means that you are just focusing on calories, not the quality of the calories. And so you're restricting, you're hungry, right? Starving. You feel like crap. Your cravings are through the roof. Your mood is all over the whack, right? Your hormones are out of balance. That sounds like a shitty place to live in a diet, right? And I want you to think about this. If you're watching this video, you've probably been in a diet before. It probably wasn't great, right? And if you've been in a diet before, it didn't work. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. It didn't work long term. You might have got some results, but if you're here watching this video and you've done a diet before, it didn't work. Okay, so this whole like satisfaction and stuff, it's not just my opinion, right? There was a meta-analysis that showed that people on a vegetarian and vegan diet lost around 4.4 pounds more than non-vegetarians over 18-week period. And the superstar, the legend, Dr. Neil Barnard's clinical trials have shown that in a plant-based diet improves your insulin sensitivity and metabolism, which means that your body actually handles calories and fat storage just more effectively. So, vegan diets can absolutely support weight loss when we're talking about whole food, plant-based diet, right? Vegan is just focusing on no animals, can be processed. Whole food vegan, which is whole food plant-based, which is still kind of under the same category as vegan, right? Then yes, absolutely can, right? And there are statistics on this as well. There are statistics on this. And I'll tell you those in a second. Exciting. So, yes, it can work when you're doing it the right way. How do you do it the right way? So, this is where it kind of gets good because when people tell me veganism didn't work for them, 9 times out of 10 is because they fell into one of these three traps. So, mistake number one is the junk food vegan. This is the person whose diet is built on processed vegan foods. I'm talking fake meats, fake cheeses, biscuits, crisps, cookies, ice cream, right? Listen, I'm not saying that you can't enjoy those things. I love a vegan donut, right? Probably about once a week, I go and get a vegan donut. And then, right, I love a vegan donut now and then. But if they become your daily foundation, you're basically just swapping one set of processed foods for another. So the problem is our human programming because we are biologically hardwired. Our natural instincts are to seek out calorie dense foods. Now, back in primal days, calorie dense foods probably meant a good bush of peanuts. But you have to, I don't know if you've ever seen a full peanut before, you have to crack that bitch open, right? You've got to crack it open, you've got to break it up. You've got to really work to get that one or two nut. So back in primal days, when food wasn't guaranteed, our survival depended on eating as much calorie dense, energy dense foods as possible when available. But it wasn't available like you can dip your hand into a bag of trail mix or a bag of nuts nowadays. That was not a thing. So in the same like in the closest vein, you would probably be able to consume a maximum of a couple of hundred calories tops in primal days in about an hour versus now that you can consume at least 3,000 calories in 15 minutes. Right? Can you see the difference? But we're still hardwired to choose the calorie dense foods. It ain't because you're broken, it ain't because you suck at dieting, it's because your natural wiring. I should make that into a jingle, shouldn't I? If anyone watches this, oh, it's not because you're wiring. Oh God. I don't want to watch this one back now. I'm cringing too hard. Okay, so your brain is going to light up like a bloody Christmas tree when you eat foods high in sugar, high in salt, high in fat, because your wiring is designed to seek them out and light up like a firework display. It's like, yay, this is amazing. This is fantastic. This is what we want. Oh, it's so good. I want more. It's the same pleasure centers as drugs, right? These foods, we are designed to crave more of them. Now, if you combine that natural drive with the modern food manufacturing processes, processed vegan foods, just like processed non-vegan foods, really, and even meats and cheeses and dairies, they are engineered or created or they are essentially going to hit the bliss point where you literally struggle to stop eating them. Like we think, oh my God, I just don't have enough willpower over this pack of Oreos. No, 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 no. It's not your willpower, right? Willpower sucks. That's another video. Willpower is shit. You don't need willpower for weight loss, right? If you're relying on willpower, you ain't gonna succeed. I tell you that. Nobody succeeds on a diet on willpower alone. Willpower will create you a little bit of systems and routine, and then the willpower fades. Anyway, let me know if you would like a video on willpower and what the hell I'm talking about. Just drop in the comments underneath this video, wherever you're watching, and write the word willpower if you want me to do a video on willpower and why willpower is not enough. But it's your dopamine system saying, yes, please give me more of that. I want more. But these foods, they are calorie dense, they're low in fiber, and they bypass and override your body's natural fullness signals. Okay, that's why you can plow through a packet of Oreos or chips or cookies without even thinking, without even blinking. You can smash through 3,000 calories in 5 minutes without even thinking about, without even noticing that you're actually eating. But you'd never be able to do the same calories with apples. You'd never be able to consume the same amount of calories with black beans, right? You'd be going, has anyone ever had like a couple of protein bars? Maybe even like by the time you get to one protein bar, you're like, oh, it's just much of the same. It's like, oh, it's gross now. I don't want any more. Right? That's because you're getting more of the fiber, more protein. Um, and it's harder to consume, it's harder to carry on. So it's not about never eating these foods. Again, I like a donut, hands up, right? It's about recognizing the trap because if vegan junk food becomes the base of your diet, you're not creating a lifestyle that supports weight loss. You're just swapping the packaging. So, mistake number two, the carb only vegan. This is when your meals are 90% carbs. Think pasta, bread, rice, potatoes, with very little protein and sometimes very little vegetables. Now, carbs are not the villain. We need carbohydrates, okay? For any keto lovers or keto people out there, either unfollow me now or get your head around the fact that even vegan keto is not good unless you have epilepsy, okay? It is not, I repeat, it is not scientifically backed, okay? So carbs are not the villain. We need carbohydrates. Your brain's main fuel is glucose. We need them. They're not a villain, so let me make that clear. I eat carbs every single day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But without balance, you get blood sugar spikes, you can get cravings, and you can get hungry again very quickly. So this is where women say, I'm vegan, but I'm starving all the time. I see so many people, they just take away the protein. So they just take away the meat, right? And they just think, okay, this is how I'm going to be plant-based and I'm going to lose weight. Or this is just how I'm going to be plant-based. I'm just going to take away the meat. Now you're left with carbs, right? It's not necessarily the fact that you're vegan. It's the fact that you've taken away an entire food group. Proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. They are your macronutrients. You need them in large amounts. Okay. Now, if you are removing protein from your meal, you are left with mostly carbs. You need that protein to feel satisfied, to have the energy last longer for other processes in your body as well. So, mistake number three is portion confused vegan. This is a bit of a sneaky one. So it's when you're eating mostly healthy foods, but you're unknowingly overdoing the calorie dense foods. So things like nuts, seeds, avocado, all oils. I'm demonizing oils, right? I know I'm an anti-diet coach, but oils really have no place in our diet. They have absolutely, they are not necessary for anything. They are 100% fat. And 100% fat is not going to help your body as much as a handful of olives will. Okay? You won't get the nutrients from olive oil that you could get from a handful of olives. things like smoothies are really easy to overdo the calories as well. So you're not just going to realize this. You're not going, sorry, I just had a total brain fart. Um, some foods are marketed as health foods, like olive oil, like avocado oil. Now, they're probably, I don't know if they're necessarily healthier than a chocolate bar, probably on par, but they are super high in calories. So, two handful of nuts can be about 400 calories. That's the same as an entire plate of rice, beans, and vegetables, right? So, you think that you're eating light because you don't feel full, but you're blowing your deficit without realizing it. And no calorie deficit means no fat loss. And when these three mistakes are combined, well, no wonder why you tried veganism and it sucked ass for you. So if you've fallen into one of these categories before, there's no shame. We've all been there, but awareness is power. And now you know. So now I got the power. Uh, I'll try and avoid the jingles from now, but I can't promise. Do not fall into those traps. Okay? Here are three powerful shifts that can actually help you lose weight successfully on a vegan diet. Are you paying attention? Drop attention in the chat box underneath this video right now. Here's how you're going to lose weight on a vegan diet. Do you like my new nails? They're pretty. Anyway, strategy number one, focus on calorie density, not the fact that it's vegan or not. Okay? So obviously we want you to be vegan. 100%. I want you to be plant-based. But you also need to start focusing if you want to lose weight and you don't want to, or you don't want to gain weight, we also need to be looking at calorie density. Okay. Now, just a pre-frame, I do not count calories with my clients and I do not count calories. There's going to be a lot of comments on under here saying about how counting calories does help. There is a whole nuance around counting calories. Okay. The fact that we override our natural body's cues with counting calories is utter garbage for me, right? I hate it. Yes, calories in versus calories out, but there is a whole load of nuance behind that. It is not as easy just to say, just stick to your calories, overeat today and undereat tomorrow. That is not setting you up to live and to understand exactly what your body needs when it needs it. So I don't count calories, my clients don't count calories, but I'm just talking about them so you get to understand. Calorie density simply means how many calories are packed into a given weight of food. So high calorie dense foods, I'm talking oils, peanut butter, almond butter, so any kind of nuts, seeds, nut and seed butters, processed foods, cheeses, small portions, um, loads of calories. Okay, they're small, but they pack the calories in. Whereas if you go for low calorie dense foods, I'm talking about vegetables, fruits, beans, whole grains. These are going to give you a bigger portion for fewer calories. So when you eat more from the low calorie density side, you naturally reduce your calorie intake without needing to track, without weighing, without starving yourself. And the magic is that you get to eat larger plates of food, feel more full, and still be in a calorie deficit. So, in fact, studies show that if you consume a rich diet in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and beans, and allow them to eat as much as they want, right? Allow you to, if this was a study basically, and they allowed one group to eat as much as they want, and it was whole food, plant-based, they ended up eating 50% fewer calories than they would otherwise. Just full on half the calories by choosing whole foods over calorie dense foods like meat, cheese, dairy, sugar, fats. I've got a client, we're going to call her Elle. She switched out her typical like meat-centered diet in favor for a whole food plant-based diet and has lost over 26 pounds. Why? Because her plate was built on these foods. Strategy number two, build balanced plant-based plates. So most people trip up when it comes to building the right plate. They hear vegan and so they just think carbs, 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 like, or I need to eat like a rabbit. Neither is the answer. The answer is balance. When I talk about balance, I mean that you need to make sure that every plate has these four key ingredients. Fiber, so loads of veggies, beans, and whole grains. Okay. Plant protein, so tofu, tempeh, beans, lentils, edamame. Starch, potatoes, quinoa, oats, rice. Color and variety. I'm talking about colorful vegetables, fruits. These are going to cover all your micronutrients, all of those vitamins and minerals that you need. Now, this combination is not only going to keep you full, it will help regulate your blood sugar levels, keep your energy stable, regulate your hormones. It will bring hormones back if you're balancing it properly. Okay. So if you're someone who struggles to feel full and you feel like you can eat and eat and eat and you feel like you eat more than other people, or you just don't feel like you're actually ever satisfied from a meal, you can bring that back with whole foods. You're not broken. Your body is just being fueled by food. It's not even food anymore, by junk that has hijacked your hormones, that has hijacked your messages, your body messages, and your body cues. You get rid of the hijackers and you can start to come back to learning and trusting your body. This combination is not only going to keep you full, it's going to regulate your blood sugars, your hormones, your energy, your weight, your mood, everything. So here's a stat that's going to blow your mind. On average, women in the UK and US are only getting about 15 grams of fiber a day, right? Fiber, the structure of things like beans and grains and potatoes and vegetables. The recommended 15 grams, the recommended is 25 to 30 grams. That's literally half of what we actually need. Fiber comes from plants. There's none in meat, none in dairy, none in eggs, zero. You know the most annoying thing? Most people are getting more protein than they need, and we are so fucking, excuse me, we are so focused on getting protein that we have forgotten that fiber is necessary. We're so focused on getting protein that we now think taking one poop a week is normal. But when you're focused on fiber, 2 to 3 poops a day is normal. And when you speak to people like gastroenterologists, which I cannot say, they will tell you that you need to be eating enough fiber and passing a bowel movement regularly, a few times a day. So when you switch to a whole food plant-based diet, you build your plates properly. You can go from 15 to 30 to 40 grams of fiber a day easily. And that alone will drive satiety, regulate your hunger, support fat loss. It helps you lose weight by feeling satisfied. Nobody knows that in the diet world. Nobody who's dieting understands that that is normal and that's how you're supposed to diet. Do you know what? That's how you're supposed to diet when you're not paying the diet industry to tell you how to diet. Write that down, right? Think about it. It's not about eating less. It's about eating smarter and wiser. It's about stacking your plate so your body is working with you, not against you. I want you to drop a picture, an emoji, any emoji in the chat if you feel like you could get some more fiber in your diet. Okay, and strategy number 3. I want to keep you, come on, team, we're nearly there. Strategy number 3 is to watch the healthy but heavy foods. Now, there's a little bit of nuance here. So because some vegan foods are healthy, but they're not weight loss friendly in unlimited amounts, it gets a little bit confusing. So when you think about fats like nuts, seeds, avocado, dried fruits and smoothies, they can be packed full of nutrients, but they can easily tot over on the calories without even realizing. So there's a little bit of a tweak and difference here, but I'm not going to go into it too much because the most important thing I need to do is focus on the nutrient dense, calorie poor foods over anything else. But when you overdo healthy fats, overdo, you need fats. Remember, they're macronutrients, so we need it. When you overdo healthy fats, it is easy to overconsume on those calories. But if you compare like some peanut butter, like a dollop of peanut butter, with an entire bowl of rice and vegetables and beans, you're getting the same calories, but 3 times the volume and 10 times the satiety level. So the strategy is to not cut the healthy foods out. It's just to uh, treat them as an accessory to your plate, not the main piece, like jewelry. Sprinkle it on. So when people say, Bianca, can you actually lose weight by going vegan? The answer is 100% yes. I lost weight. My clients are losing weight. Every one of my clients are losing weight. They're all gaining energy. They're getting focused. They're taking back their body. They're learning how to deal and manage cravings. They are feeling good, less brain fog, more clarity, more energy, more alive, more on purpose. So absolutely it can do weight loss and all of the above, but it's understanding calorie density, the balance of your plate, building balanced plates that contain enough fiber and protein and starch and color, and keeping the healthy but heavy foods in check. Just be mindful of them so they work with you, not against you. I hope that makes sense. When you do that, that is how you lose weight as a vegan, as a plant-based dieter. Okay. If you're curious to learn more, come and join the Facebook group. If you're watching this on Facebook, you're already in the Facebook group. But if you do want to learn more, I actually have a free, totally free 22-page guide for you called the Healthy Vegan Guide, right? No catch, I promise you. I just made it ages ago and I forget to talk about it. So inside, there's a breakdown of the healthiest vegan foods that actually support weight loss, explanation of where you'll get all your nutrients from on a vegan diet, the food rules to abide by, my favorite kitchen hacks and equipment that save a shit ton of time and energy, explanation on how to read labels, simple swaps for quick wins, a simple, easy meal plan, and just so much more. So if you want a copy, if you're watching this on Facebook, just drop the word guide in the comments right now. If you're watching on YouTube, I'll drop the link in the caption below. Okay, if you're watching on YouTube, I'll drop the link in the caption. But I also would encourage you to come and join our free Facebook weight loss group. It's the Women's Plant-Based Weight Loss Support Club, and it'll also be in the caption. Come and join. There's so many more resources. There's so many tools, so many trainings. We build I educate on YouTube, but we build community in Facebook. So just remember, weight loss, vegan should never be about starving, never be about restricting, never be about counting every bite that you have for life. It's about eating smarter, not smaller. And when you know how to do vegan the healthy way, weight loss becomes natural. It becomes effortless. It becomes the results that you get to keep forever. It's sustainable. So I want you to grab the guide, the Healthy Vegan Guide, free 22-page guide. It's yours. Just comment if you want it. Grab the guide, put these strategies into action. Let's make your journey not just about losing weight, but about gaining energy, getting the confidence, getting clarity, lifting brain fog, having that freedom, having the freedom to live without worry, live in a body that you love. I'll see you all next week. No, I won't. I'm in Bali. I'll see you all soon for another live, hopefully next week. You guys have been amazing. And remember, don't forget, I love you and no more dieting. Take care, team. Bye.